Galleries from different countries gather in Lagos, showcasing contemporary works of art at the NXT Art Fair.
The vision that Black culture holds is the focus of the next art fair in Lagos, and 4 new generation galleries from Nigeria, Ghana, Germany, and the United States have been invited to be part of this fiesta.
Next Art is a part of Africa Next, which has been occurring in Lagos for the past 10 years. They have always had artwork, involved in the conference, in the main stage. But this year they thought to place a special focus on art, especially digital art, new media, and of course giving an opportunity for emerging artists to have a platform.
What we've tried to do with the Creative Conversations is bring together leading arts practitioners and key players in the African art ecosystem, and artists, curators, collectors, investors, and just bringing all these people together to think about how can we further the prosperity of African art and how can we develop it to make it sustainable so that in 10 years' time we can look back, or rather we can set a template for people to follow.
It's a rich array of artistic jamboree tailored to reveal what's happening not just in Africa but around the world, as the works of art on display interrogate issues familiar to viewers in a global village.
At this particular fair, we're working with Ebuka Pascal Agudiego, Ogochukwu Ejiofor, and Yewande Oseni, and the selected artists portray the African feminine as a vehicle for talking about the narrative of reimagining or recreating our futures as Africans. And if we look at Ebuka Pascal Agudiego's piece, his first piece, Our Ancestors Aren't Savages, he talks about how he illustrates cut trees as a way to talk about how the African civilization has been cut off during the colonial era and post-colonial era. And working with acrylics on canvas and figurative and surrealist paintings, he tries to portray how we as Africans can find our connection back to our roots. And working with this different media, most of these artists are using art to to share their narrative, to be able to portray Africanness in a different light and taking a distinctive approach to it.
Today we have a conversation titled How Art Helps to Generate Identity, New Culture, and Build a Nation. So this conversation is going to feature Ayola Gbolahan, Isaac Emokwae, and Chigozie Obi. And then the theme of this conversation came from looking at artists and radical thinkers like Ben Enwonwu, Uche Okeke. These are artists who engage their works with themes of national identity and social identity. And what they did in their work is sort of create a call for some collective consciousness and then to transform minds. So looking at Nigeria right now, how can we use art? How can we use creativity to develop the nation? So that's basically what we've tried to do with the conversation for today.
We were very particular about artists who are, first of all, young, and would I say still not too wet behind the ears, but very new in their career. So we're talking artists who have maybe about 10 years or less, who are not mid-level yet, and of course they have to be doing very great works. In this instance, we took a lot of figurative works as well as abstract works to show. I believe when we were contacted, they had told us that other galleries were showing portraiture and maybe more realistic paintings. So they wanted something to add a bit more flavor. Abstract works, I think, are very important. They're very interesting because people see all sorts of things from one particular work, different interpretations. So I think it was good to add a bit more flavor to the lineup of artists.
that post-COVID, we saw an uptick actually in interest in art events, art from West Africa especially. And being a technology conference, we wanted to create the opportunity for people to learn more about new forms of art, NFTs, digital art, new media, which seems almost inaccessible right now, and a lot of people are learning. So this creates a hybrid opportunity to experience traditional forms of visual arts as well as learning about digital.
The images also peep into the future, and fresh ideas are welcomed as creatives birth aspirations that can become realities.
For me, the most important thing is this intersection between art and technology, specifically in Africa. Africa has a technology culture that spans thousands and thousands of generations, and we have this legacy of technology that many people might not be aware of. For example, when we think of technology, we usually think that Africa adopts technology from the West. But if you actually think about culture, many of these platforms, many of the technology that has been made for the world, the use case actually comes from Africa. For example, like in the beginning of the internet and social media, you had platforms like Black Planet, you had Twitter, and it's like this global Black culture has always been the thing, the driving force behind like technology. So what we want to do is just bring Africa to the forefront for people to understand how much richness we have, how much legacy of technology we have, how much we have to offer, and that we're currently living in the African century.
The distinctive and connective themes in Black culture are showed alongside a digital gallery which features more paintings in the new media.
With the influx of technology, or with the rise of technology with art, you're creating this opportunity for the artist to still reap the rewards, right? So you're creating digital certificates, and you're creating an opportunity where when the art exchange hands, they still get a portion of that sale. And I think that it is important because every other artist gets to enjoy that kind of commercial activity with their work, and I think that visual artists finally have a chance to do that.
The fair explores the universal experience of Black culture and shows the strong bond African artists and those in diaspora share.